Hi folks, this is Kareem Raouf for IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab matrix labs, the video number 125. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We are still working with how to troubleshoot Windows using remote tools, but today we are talking about PS exec utility, which is one of the tools of Microsoft Windows sys internal suite. Okay, so we have seen in the previous video that this tool is very effective. It doesn't need so much configuration. It is just a service that is installed remotely on the remote machine, and you can through this service control the machine as a whole. We have seen in the previous video that most AI tools has created a lot of hands-on exercises to explain this topic. Gemini 2.5 Pro, Grok 3, ChatGPT 3, I think 3 Omni High, and Claude 3.7 Sonnet. The best from my point of view is Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So we have seen this hands-on exercises, and also there was before this hand-on exercises a simple explanation of the topic, uh, and I was impersonating, or the AI is talking to us as a junior IT. So the explanation is very simple, not in a very complicated technical terms. Today there is another way we will discuss this topic through AI tools, through something called learning dialogue. Okay, so this is through a dialogue between a senior IT and a junior IT. We will see how this dialogue will enrich our experience with PS exec utility, and how it will be explained more deeply through this learning dialogue, and we will see how this will be very effective. As I have said before, that there is three ways that I explain any topic using the AI tools. First, a simple explanation by telling the AI tool that I am a junior IT, please explain this topic in simple terms. The second way is to explain it using hands-on exercises, and the third way is through explaining it through a learning dialogue. So today we will explain this topic through a learning dialogue, and here is the first case by Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Let's read it out loudly, and then we also will see other cases created by other AI tools like Gemini and ChatGPT and Grok. So let's try to read this case. Here you go. This is a long one actually, so we'll try to read it out loudly. Okay, I think this is a second case. So maybe here you go. This is another scenario. So this is the first case, because I have already created a couple of cases, not only one case. Okay, so consider this a learning dialogue and a real world case scenario. So here we go. Let's read out this loudly.
The PS Exec Chronicles, Remote Troubleshooting with Sysinternals. Scene 1. The mystery begins. IT Department, Thursday afternoon. The office is quiet except for the hum of servers and occasional keyboard clicks. Lowell, a seasoned IT administrator in his 50s, is reviewing security logs at his desk. His workspace is meticulously organized with multiple monitors, handwritten notes on yellow legal. Create a vibrant, engaging dialogue between.
Sorry guys, just wait for a moment.
The PS Exec Chronicles, Remote Troubleshooting with Sysinternals. Scene 1. The mystery begins. IT Department, Thursday afternoon. The office is quiet except for the hum of servers and occasional keyboard clicks. Lowell, a seasoned IT administrator in his 50s, is reviewing security logs at his desk. His workspace is meticulously organized with multiple monitors, handwritten notes on yellow legal pads, and a thermos of black coffee. Maya, A junior admin in her late 20s approaches with a concerned expression, tablet in hand. Maya, Lowell, I've got a weird situation. 3 computers in the marketing department aren't responding to any remote management tools. Can't RDP, can't connect with computer management console, nothing. And I need to deploy that Adobe update to them today. Lowell looks up from his monitors. The plot thickens. Young navigator. What troubleshooting steps have you charted so far? Maya pulls up notes on her tablet. Well, I've verified network connectivity with ping. Ports 445 and 3389 are open according to port scans, and the computers are definitely powered on. I call the users to check. I even tried WMI commands, but they're timing out. It's like something's blocking all administrative connections.
I need to check. I think port 445. This is for SMB or Secure Management Protocol, maybe, or something related to file share. Let me just quickly ask. I need to ask simply Perplexity, just quickly, uh, just to make it, just to make sure that they are the ports that I'm talking about. What are ports 445, and let's continue the 445 and 3389. I think one is for the remote access, maybe remote desktop access, and the other for the file sharing, maybe. Let's just go that 43389. Is this correct? Let's, yeah, 3389 and 445. So here you go. These are used for. So let's continue and see that. So port 445 is used with server message protocol, not secure management protocol. This is called server management protocol, which is facilitate sharing and printing over a network. It allows devices to communicate directly using TCP without the need for NetBIOS, which is earlier. So this is file and print sharing with other devices. Active Directory uses this port uh, for other things, and remote access. So SMB over port 45 can be used for remote file access and synchronization through this. So this is Maya trying to use this port to transfer uh, files of Adobe Reader to be installed on the machine. So she is making sure that this port is opened. As for port 3389, this is for remote desktop. So I am correct. This is for remote desktop protocol. So these two are already there, but she can't. She is trying to make RDP, even though the port of the RDP is opened, but she cannot remotely access it. As for port 445, the port is opened for transferring files, but I think she is failing also to transport files to the remote machines using this port. So let's continue and see the case.
Connections. Lowell nods thoughtfully. Sounds like we're sailing into the Bermuda Triangle of IT. 3 seemingly identical ships disappearing under mysterious circumstances. Maya, smiling. I knew you'd find a way to make this nautical. So what's our next move? Should I walk over there and troubleshoot locally? Lowell stands up and grabs his notebook. Not yet. When remote winds fail, you don't immediately abandon ship for the rowboat. There's one more powerful vessel in our fleet, PS exec. Maya, curious, PS exec? I've heard it mentioned in forums, but never actually used it. Isn't that part of the sysinternals toolkit? Lowell, with enthusiasm. Indeed it is. Mark Rasinovic's gift, to IT professionals. Think of it as a lightweight, no installation required remote control tool. It lets you execute processes on remote systems without needing to pre-install any client software. Maya, that sounds exactly like what I need right now. But how does it work if all my other remote connections are failing? Lowell, that's the beauty of it. PS exec uses different underlying mechanisms than RDP or MMC. It operates through SMB and the Windows Service Control Manager. Let's set sail, and I'll show you how to navigate these waters. Scene 2, Learning the Ropes. Lowell and Maya are now at Lowell's workstation. He opens a command prompt and navigates to a folder labeled sysinternals. Lowell, first things first, do you know how PS exec actually works behind the scenes? Maya, thinking not really. I assume it just sends commands over the network somehow. Lowell, chuckles. That's like saying a ship just goes through water somehow. The mechanics are fascinating. When you run PS exec against a remote system, it does the following. First, it copies a service executable called success.exe to the remote system's admin $share. That's the C:\Windows directory. Maya, sketching the process on her tablet, so it relies on file sharing being enabled. Lowell, sharp observation. Yes, file and printer sharing must be enabled, and port 445 needs to be open, which you've already confirmed. Next, it uses the Service Control Manager to create and start a service on the remote system. This service then executes whatever command you specified and redirects the output back to your local machine. Maya, that's clever. So it's like having a command prompt on the remote system, but seeing the results locally? Lowell, exactly. It's like having a periscope into the remote ship. You stay on your vessel, but can see and operate things on theirs. Let's try a simple command first. Lowell types a command into the terminal. Copy. // marketing -PC 01 hostname. After a moment, the command returns. Copy. PS exec version 2.34. Execute processes remotely copyright. C. 2001 to 2021 Mark Rasinovich sysinternals. www.sysinternals.com marketing PC01. Lowell. Well, that's interesting. This one actually responded. Let's try something more informative. Copy. // marketing -PC01 IP protocol configuration /all. The command executes, returning detailed IP configuration information. Maya, surprised it worked? But why is this working when other remote tools aren't? Lowell, thoughtfully, that's the million-dollar question. Let's try one of the problematic computers. Copy. // marketing -PC02 hostname. After a longer pause, an error message appears. Copy. PS exec version 2.34. Execute processes remotely copyright. C. 2001 to 2021 Mark Rasinovich sysinternals. www.sysinternals.com couldn't access marketing PC02. The network path was not found. Lowell, just as I suspected. The plot thickens further. Let's try using the IP address instead. Copy. // 192.168.10.45 hostname. After another pause. Copy. PS exec version 2.34. Execute processes remotely copyright. C. 2001 to 2021 Mark Rasinovich sysinternals. www.sysinternals.com error accessing 192.168.10.45. Access is denied. Maya, noting the different error message. Access is denied instead of network path not found. So the computer exists and is reachable, but we can't get in? Lowell, nodding, good catch. That suggests the file sharing service might be running, but we don't have the right credentials or permissions. Let's try with explicit admin credentials. Copy. // 192.168.10.45 udomain /admin p password hostname. After a moment, copy. PS exec version 2.34. Execute processes remotely copyright. C. 2001 to 2021 Mark Rusinovich Sysinternals. www.sysinternals.com Marketing PC02. Lowell, aha.
So here one question. He can access the PC using the IP address, but not the name by the IP address of the machine, not the net BIOS name of the machine. So this indicates maybe there is a problem with the DNS. I need to do something here, or to ask a question to Perplexity. I can't access a PC using PS exec by net BIOS name of the machine, but I succeed using its IP address. What could be the cause? This happened in a domain environment. So let's try to see if I think this maybe is related to the DNS maybe. So here the answer, the issue with PX working with IP address but not the bit BIOS name in a domain environment typically stems from name resolution failure. So this is maybe is related to a DNS or net BIOS issues. So I think maybe this is related to a DNS error. Maybe the records of this, or DNS records of this machine is not correct in the domain controller. So the domain controller acts as a DNS server as well. So maybe the records of this machine in the DNS server is not correct, so he cannot do this using the NetBIOS name. Using the you can use it by the IP address. So the first thing is to NetBIOS relies on VNS or LM host files or broadcast methods. So if this mechanism are not functioning correctly, if you cannot use this VNS, ensure okay, if there is no IP broadcast limitations, NetBIOS disabled. So maybe the NetBIOS is disabled, so you cannot use the machine name to access it, or to access the machine name, to access the machine by its name. So this is one of the things. Maybe you disable NetBIOS, so you cannot access the machine using PSExec using its NetBIOS name. So you need to put the IP address. This is one thing. DNS configuration. If NetBIOS is disabled, the system may rely on DNS. So maybe there is a problem, but I think this is not related to the DNS because we are actually working with the NetBIOS name. So this is a good thing. So I think when you are working with PSExec and you suspect NetBIOS is disabled, you can use PSExec and then the full machine name, the domain, the name of the machine plus the domain, so you can access the machine using PSExec. And again, there is maybe something PSExec SMB 445 for communication or IP based might work. Name resolution could be blocked. Okay, let's see that NetBIOS ports 137, 139. If blocked, NetBIOS name resolution fails, but SMB over IP port might still work. So also one thing, maybe the firewall is blocking the NetBIOS port. So maybe the NetBIOS is disabled or the NetBIOS ports are blocked. So this is one thing. Group policy restrictions. Uh, Restrictions on remote UAC. Admin shares my block PS exec by name. So here is saying that restrictions on remote user access control. Admin shares or WMI might block PS exec by name. Okay, so this is some group policy or security restrictions. SMB signing requirements. If enforced, ensure both client and target comply. Solutions using, so this is one thing, to use the full name instead of the NetBIOS name. Okay, and verify that the name of the machine is translated to IP address using an slookup. Confirm that the NetBIOS name is there using this commandlet. If you are using Wins server, which is currently an obsolete solution not used anymore in our networks, enable NetBIOS temporarily. If it's disabled, update firewall rules. So as we can see here, this is the solution for not accessing the PC using the name of the PC, not the IP address. So this is why we cannot access the machine using its name. So let's go and continue the case.
Uh-huh. We're making progress. Now we know we can connect with the right credentials. Maya, curious. Wait, is it safe to type the password in clear text like that? Couldn't someone see it? Lowell, a valid concern, navigator. In PS exec version 2.1 and later, the credentials and commands are encrypted during transit. However, the password is still visible on your screen, which is a security risk. Maya, is there a better way? Lowell, yes. Omit the P parameter and PS exec will prompt for the password more securely. Copy. Sexsec / 192.168.10.45 udomain / admin hostname. A password prompt appears. Lowell enters it discreetly. Copy. PS exec version 2.34. Execute processes remotely copyright. C. 2001 to 2021 Mark Rasinovich sysinternals. www.sysinternals.com marketing PC02. Scene 3. Diving deeper. Maya. Thinking, so we can connect to the marketing computers with domain admin credentials, but not with our regular admin accounts. That's strange. Lowell, let's check what services are running on these machines. The plot often reveals itself when you examine the services. Copy. Sexsec / 192.168.10.45 udomain / admin sc query type equals service state equals all. A long list of services appears. Lowell scrolls through them carefully. Lowell points to the screen. Look at that. The remote registry service is disabled, and so is the server service. That explains a lot. Maya, looking at her tablet. According to my notes, the server service is required for file sharing, and the remote registry service is needed for many remote management tools. How could they both be disabled? That's not a default configuration. Lowell, no, it's not. This looks deliberate. Let's check if it's the same on the other problematic computers. They run similar commands on the other computers, confirming the same services are disabled. Maya, concern, this is weird. Do you think someone deliberately disabled these services? Some kind of security measure gone wrong? Lowell, or gone right from their perspective. Could be someone trying to harden machines without understanding the consequences. Could also be malware trying to prevent remote management. Let's continue our investigation.
So one thing here I need to check here. So he cannot access these machines because the remote desktop service is disabled and the server service is disabled. So I know the remote desktop service is disabled, so he cannot remotely access the PCs using remote desktop. As for the server service, uh, disabling it, what it will do, it is for file sharing. So she cannot copy the Adobe files to be installed on the machines remotely. This is the server service. As for the SMB SMB service, which is I think server I think management protocol. Let me see here. I think this is called server management protocol. Let me see something here. But just to remember, this is server management protocol. Let me remember server. It is server management protocol. Just a moment. Server message protocol. Okay, this is facilitate resource sharing as files and printers. So there is two things. There is the server service, and I think maybe it is somehow related to uh, the SMB protocol, but uh, if the server service is disabled, that means we cannot use exec to to connect to the machine. Let me also ask another question here. If we go to perplexity again, what will happen if the server Windows service is disabled and its relation to, let me do something here first to make sure that uh, there is another service called SMB. Let me wait for a moment. So we don't have something called server. This is support file, print, and name pipe over network. If stopped, will not be able to be disabled. So this is it. If it's stopped. So this is for file and print sharing, okay? So maybe the protocol SMB or the ports for protocol are opened, but the service itself is disabled. Let me ask it or ask this in a relation to SMB protocol and port 445. So let's try to have this question and see what he will answer to it. Okay, let's do that. Okay, disabling server service. LAN directly impacts the SMB protocol on port 45 with cascading effects on the network functionality and security. Here is the breakdown. Immediate impact of SMB and port 445. SMB protocol. The service is required for hosting SMB file print sharing. The break terminates all SMB server functionality, preventing the system from sharing resources or responding to SMB client request. Port 445 closed. Since port 445 is used by SMB over TCP, stopping the server service removes the listener on this port. After disabling this service and rebooting, port 445 will no longer be active. So this means if this is disabled, then we cannot use exec to connect. So he's again, if we go and see something, he's saying that the server service required for file sharing and remote registry. The remote registry service is needed for many remote. So here he's not talking about this is the remote registry service. So he's not talking about remote desktop service. This remote registry is disabled, and so is the server service. So the remote desktop service is not disabled. It is the remote registry service is disabled. So I think also this is not related to the RDP. This is remote registry service. So and he's saying that these two are needed for many remote management tools. So maybe it is affecting RDP in a certain way. So the server service is required for file sharing. So let's ask uh, uh, first this loose file and page sharing, closing ports, system and application dependencies, key consideration, best practice. Let's follow it the question. What if I use PS exec to connect after this service is disabled? So here there is uh, a problem. Okay, we can see here that uh, disabling this service will not make PSExec able to connect. Okay, workaround, use PowerShell remote. So this is also one thing here. So he's saying that in this situation that the server service is required for spread sharing and the remote registry service is needed for many remote management tools. So maybe we can exclude this service because it will not be able, PSExec will not be able to connect if this service is enabled. Maybe for remote registry service is enabled or disabled, this we can go with this assumption. But this, if it is disabled, you will not be able to use PSExec. So the situation is that he can access the remote machines using PSExec, okay, and using the IP address of the machine, and the first assumption that he cannot or they cannot use RDP. So again we have let's first go to the assumption here that the first thing is uh, cannot RDP. So we cannot RDP, okay, and cannot connect using computer management console. Also, this is a way if you can do like this and open the computer management, and then you can simply go like that and connect to another computer. Okay, so these two things are not we cannot do that, okay, using RDP remote desktop. Okay, so I aren't responding to any remote management tools, can't RDP, cannot connect to Windows management console. So I think he cannot connect using remote desktop, and you cannot use remote management tools like computer management console. So he's saying that this is during to that the server service and remote registry service is disabled. So let me ask also another question. If I go to Perplexity again and let's talk about I can't. Okay, no, I think we can just add a follow-up question. So if this service is disabled and remote registry service is disabled, will this make me not able to access or to let me get the question or let me get the precise this cannot RDP. Okay, here you go. So let me copy like that. Copy. Let me go again to the part we are stopping at, or we have stopped at. Where is the yellow one? Okay, so here you go. This is it. So if we go and ask it to do like this, this service is disabled and remote registry service disabled. Will this make me not able to uh, able to not able to respond to any remote management tool? Can't RDP, can't connect with the remote management console. Let's see if he will answer this one. If both server service and remote registry service are disabled, the system becomes highly restrictive in terms of remote management capabilities. Here is how this impacts various tools. So again, if the server service and remote registry is disabled, RDP, protocol RDP does not rely on the server service or remote desktop registry service directly. However, if other dependencies like network configuration root files are misconfigured, RDP may fail. So RDP does not uh, uh, rely on server service or remote registry. However, if other dependencies like network configuration firewalls are misconfigured, so RDP in this case it can work. Okay, if RDP is inaccessible, it's likely due to additional factors like blocked ports, and we are sure that 3389 is opened. Okay, so this is one thing. The remote management console uses SMB and administrative shares to connect remotely with the server disabled. These shares are unavailable, making remote access via this tool impossible. So we cannot use computer management console because the server service and the remote registry service is disabled. WinRM operates independently of the server service but requires proper configuration and open ports. If RM is not enabled, ports will be blocked. Remote management through tools like PowerShell remoting will fail. Okay, I think this computer management is related to server service and remote registry. Remote registry access. Disabling remote registry service prevents tools from accessing and modifying registry keys remotely. This limits troubleshooting and configuration changes via registry-based methods. Why remote tools fail? Disabling the server service closes SMB communication, port 445, which many remote management tools rely on. Disabling the remote registry service removes access to registry-based configuration remotely, combined with potential firewall restrictions, so and so. So disabling both services essentially blocks most traditional remote management tools like computer management and SMB-based connections with limiting registry-based troubleshooting methods. Alternative proposal are WinRM or RDP. So again, he is talking about that these services will disabling them will not make us able to connect user computer management, but I think it can connect using RDP. So this case is a little bit weird. So he's talking about that he cannot access first of all, he cannot access responding to any remote management tool, can't RDP, can't connect with computer management console. I think can't RDP, this is a little bit weird, okay, because the server service and the remote registry service does not affect the RDP, okay, and computer management console, this is correct because the server service is disabled. But if the server service is disabled, you will not be able to use spec-C exec to connect to the machine. So this is also one flaw in this scenario. If you continue or to go with the scenario and see, just to see how he will go, let's try to continues the scenario, but this is some flaws in the scenario. There is some things is not correct.
The PS Exec Chronicles. Remote.
Sorry guys, let's go again to, if we go there to the thing that we have stopped at, where it is from, okay, so I think we have stopped at uh, this one. According to my note, service is required for sharing it be disabled. This is not the default configuration. Okay, so let's see here.
Lowell. No, it's not. This looks deliberate. Let's check if it's the same on the other problematic computers. They run similar commands on the other computers, confirming the same services are disabled. Maya. Concerned, this is weird. Do you think someone deliberately disabled these services? Some kind of security measure gone wrong? Lowell. Or gone right from their perspective. Could be someone trying to harden machines without understanding the consequences. Could also be malware trying to prevent remote management. Let's continue our investigation. Maya, how can we re-enable these services if we can't connect with service management tools? Lowell, with a confident smile. That's where PS Exec shows its true power. We can use it to start services remotely. Let's try. Copy. Sexec / 192.168.10.45 udomain /admin sc config lamin server start equals auto. Command executes successfully. Copy. Sexec / 192.168.10.45 udomain /admin sc start lamin server. Command executes successfully. Lowell. Now let's enable and start the remote registry service. Copy. Sexec / 192.168.10.45 udomain /admin sc config remote registry start equals auto. Command executes successfully. Copy. Sexec / 192.168.10.45 udomain /admin sc start remote registry. Command executes successfully. Maya. Impressed, that's amazing. So we can not only check the status remotely, but also reconfigure and restart services. Lowell. Grinning indeed. PS Exec is like having a remote set of hands on the system. Now, let's see if our normal tools work again. Maya tries connecting to the computer with computer management and succeeds. Maya, it worked. This is incredible. Lowell. Now I need to figure out why these services were disabled in the first place. Let's check the event logs. Copy. Sexec / 192.168.10.45 udomain /admin webtotal QE system /q asterisk system event ID equals 7036 /f text /c 10. The command returns several service state change events. Maya. Reading, look at that. All these services were stopped at the exact same time yesterday at 4:30 p.m. Scene 4. The plot thickens. Lowell. Let's run a more thorough check. I want to see if any unusual processes are running. Copy. Sexec / 192.168.10.45 udomain /admin task list /v. A long list of processes appears. Maya. Studying the list, everything looks normal to me. Lowell. Let's check for any scheduled tasks that might be disabling these services. Copy. Sexec / 192.168.10.45 udomain /admin tasks /query /fo list /v. Among the listed tasks, one stands out. Lowell. Pointing, there it is. Look at this scheduled task called security hardening. It runs a PowerShell script located at c:/scripts/hardening.ps1 daily at 4:30 p.m. Maya, let's check what that script is doing. Copy. sec/192.168.10.45 udomain /admin type c:/scripts/hardening.ps1. The script contents appear, showing that it's disabling several services, including remote registry and Lammin server. Maya, reading O. This script is explicitly disabling those services. It looks like someone's attempt at security in those services.
Just wait for a moment. I need to do something here. The LANman server is for sharing, but there is another service called Workstation. As far as I remember, there is something called Workstation. Let me try to. This is called Workstation. Creates and maintain client network connection to remote servers using SMB protocol. If this service is stopped, the connection will be unavailable. So this to remote servers using maintain client network connection to remote servers using SMB protocol. So this is running. As for the LANman server, which is called server, this is also supports file sharing over the network for this computer. So if this is disabled, I cannot remotely access this server, access this PC. And for the workstation, this is maintaining to the other, so through this I can connect to other remote servers using the SMB protocol from my machine. Okay. So this maintains client network connection to remote servers using SMB. If this service is stopped, the connections will be unavailable. If this is disabled, any service expectedly so and so. There is any dependencies on it. We have network share interface. Okay, anyway, so this is to maintain client connection to remote servers. So using SMB. Okay, so basically, if the server service is disabled, I cannot control this machine. And again, the server service supports file and print sharing. So this is disabled. I cannot access the machine remotely. Okay, so this is one good thing. So let's continue and see the case.
In those services, it looks like someone's attempt at security hardening, but they've gone too far. Lowell, mystery solved. Now I need to fix this across all affected computers and prevent it from happening again. Scene 5. Crafting a solution. Maya. So now we need to fix the other computers too and make sure that script doesn't keep disabling our services. Lowell. Exactly. But instead of doing everything manually, let's write a script that we can run across multiple machines at once. One of PS exec's powerful features is that it can target multiple computers simultaneously. Maya. Excited? Let's do it. How do we target multiple computers? Lowell. Several ways. You can provide a comma-separated list like \\\PC1, PC2, PC3. Use a wildcard like \\\* to target all computers in the domain, or use a file name to specify a file containing computer names. Maya. Let's create a simple file with our 3 problem computers. Maya, create a text file called marketingpcs.txt containing the computer names. Lowell. Now, let's create a batch script to fix all the issues. I'll show you how to do it. Batch. Copy. At echo off echo fixing services on marketing computers. Rem enable and start required service exec at marketingpcs.txt. udomain \admin. Password sc config Lammin server start equals autops exec at marketingpcs.txt. udomain \admin. P password SC start Lamin server exec at marketingpcs.txt. U domain /admin P password SC config remote registry start equals autops exec at marketingpcs.txt. U domain /admin P password SC start remote registry REM disable the problematic scheduled tasks exec at marketingpcs.txt. U domain /admin P password /change/tn security hardening /elicho creating a backup of the hardening script sexec at marketingpcs.txt. U domain /admin P password cmd/c copy c:\scripts /hardening.ps1c /scripts /hardening.ps1.bach. Echo modifying the hardening script to preserve essential services. Sexec at marketingpcs.txt. U domain /admin. P password PowerShell command. Get content c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 where object $_ not match remote registry Lamin server set content c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 a new move item c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 a new c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 force. Echo done. Maya. Concerned. Wait, we're putting the admin password in plain text in the script? Lowell. You're right. That's not secure. Let's modify it to prompt for credentials instead. And while we're at it, let's make it even more robust with error checking. Lowell revises the script. Batch. Copy. At echo off echo fixing services on marketing computers. Set /username equals enter username. Domain /username set /password equals enter password. Echo testing connection to computers. /f%%in. marketingpcs.txt. Do ping in 1%% I in nullifier level 1. Echo cannot reach %% I skipping else. Echo %% I is reachable. Echo enabling and starting required services. Sexec at marketingpcs.txt. U %username P password %sc config Lamin server start equals autops exec at marketingpcs.txt. U %username P password %sc start. Lamin server exec at marketingpcs.txt. U %username P password %sc config remote registry start equals autops exec at marketingpcs.txt. U %username P password %sc start remote registry echo disabling the problematic scheduled task. Sexec at marketingpcs.txt. U %username P password %stas/change/tn security hardening /elicho echo creating a backup of the hardening script. Sexec at marketingpcs.txt. U %username P password %cmd/c. If exist c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 copy c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 c:\scripts /hardening.ps1.bach. Echo modifying the hardening script to preserve essential services. Sexec at marketingpcs.txt. U %username P password %PowerShell command if test path c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 right parenthesis left brace get dash content c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 where object $_ not match remote registry Lamin server set content c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 new move item c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 new c:\scripts /hardening.ps1 force echo verifying services are running. Sexec and marketingpcs.txt. U %username P password %sc. Query Lamin server find state. Sexec at marketingpcs.txt. U percent username percent, P percent password percent SC query remote registry find state, echo done. Maya. Impressed. This is much better. We're checking if computers are reachable first, backing up files before modifying them, and verifying that the services are running at the end. Lowell. Let's save this as fixmarketingpcs.bat and run it. They run the script, which successfully fixes all issues on the remaining computers. Scene 6. The lessons learned. Maya, visibly excited. That was amazing. I had no idea PS exec was so powerful. We just fixed an issue across multiple computers without having to visit each one physically. Lowell, smiling, PS exec is a lifesaver for remote administration. But like any powerful tool, it must be used responsibly. The fact that it can connect remotely, execute commands, and modify system configuration makes it both powerful for administrators and potentially dangerous if misused. Maya, I can see that. It's basically remote code execution as a feature, right? Lowell, precisely. That's why antivirus software sometimes flags it, because malware authors have used it for lateral movement in networks. It's a legitimate admin tool that can be abused. Maya, thoughtfully, I noticed we didn't need to install anything on the remote computers for PS exec to work. How does that compare to PowerShell remoting? Lowell, good question. PowerShell remoting is more modern and generally more secure, but it requires specific configuration. PS exec works out of the box as long as the basics like file sharing are enabled. Both have their place. Maya, what other cool things can we do with PS exec? Lowell, enthusiastically, oh, the possibilities are vast. You can run GUI applications remotely with the iSwitch, execute commands as the system account with S, copy and execute files that don't exist on the remote system with C, and much more. Maya, taking notes? I need to practice all of this. Can we set up a test environment where I can experiment safely?
So this is the case. I think it's very good, but there is some flaws in this case. Let me just try to ask Claude to maybe to consider this scenario. But first, let me get uh, the prompt. I need to ask him a certain question here. Let me see this one. So let me go further and ask him to do is disabled. Uh, okay, let me do a certain question here. So this is the case. Let me first remember what is this case named. This is named uh, in your scenario named that the problem was that let me go there that that the the server service able but the server service is responsible for file sharing, which psexec depend on to connect. How this works. You used it in the scenario. So let's see now how he will answer this. I think we have already extended something here. Let's do this. Okay, so saying you are correctly pointed out, PSX requires Windows Server to be running because PSX depends on SMB file sharing to connect to the admin share. This needs to so and so. The server service is what enables the file sharing in Windows. If the server service was truly disabled, PSX could not be able to connect at all, and they could not have used it to discover that the service was disabled in the first place. Here is how the scenario should have been structured to be technically accurate. So, initial observation, remote management tools not working. Okay, initial troubleshooting PS exec. First attempt fails because the server service is disabled. They receive error like network path not found or access denied. This is what happened. Alternative approach. They could have used alternative method like WinRM if enabled, or remote PowerShell, or physically visit one computer to diagnose the issue, or use domain admin credentials with special access rights that bypass some restrictions. Then after discovering and fixing the server service issues on one computer, they could have used PSExec for the remaining computers. So after discovering and fixing the server service issue on one computer, they could have used PSExec for the remaining ones. Thank you for pointing out this technical inaccuracy. It's a kind of attention to detail that makes for a truly skilled IT professional. So this is a flaw in the case, but I think it is good. We have seen a lot of scripts. So for example, he give us a script to enable server service and remote registry service. So this is one thing. I think it is good, a good case, even though it was not that correct. If we go to I think we should stop at this case. So let me first to make a hint about the case that will be discussed by Gemini. So this is the senior IT named Sal and the junior named Shlow. So here is the thing. The accounting department suddenly can't print to the main network printer. Slow initial checks shows the printer itself is online and responding to pings. It's more like a server-side issue, especially the printer poor service on the department local file and print server. So it says like it's a server-side issue. Anyway, the printer service is enabled. So I think this is related to maybe the printer spooler on the client side maybe. So I was about RDP in but figured that I would check, have a quicker idea, asking users to save work and log off for an RDP session. So here you will try to use maybe PSExec, which will be a good choice. Here you go, he will go to the host name and then something to accept EOLA. This is something because when you run PSExec, it will ask or it will pop up a license agreement. So you need to bypass this license agreement or accept the license agreement. There is a switch to accept the license agreement. And then he will access the host. and then he should, when he need to check the printer spooler service on the client machine. So to access this service, he need domain admin accounts and system account privileges to access the spooler service. Anyway, so I think we will stop at this scenario and discuss it in the upcoming video. Hope this video is informative for you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.